Last week, defending champion Dane Kingshot stormed to the checkered flag to take a popular victory in front of his home crowd at Bunbury. And in so doing, he consolidated the lead in the Carline Speed Car Pro Series.
Kingshot in the Bunbury Subaru car leads Mark Brown. This is the last lap. A-Main Round 4 Speed Car Pro Series. Dane Kingshot, defending champion, series leader. He's coming around the final turn. Mark Brown, he's not going to be close enough. And Dane Kingshot wins the A-Main.
Tonight, the tournament moves to South Australia, and you'll have a Category 1 seat as the action continues in Australia's newest open wheel series. Speedway City is the venue, and many of the nation's best drivers are here for their shot at speed car glory. There's feature stories on Lee Dillon and Brock Hallett, and we wind back the clock in our popular Golden Moments segment. On Fox Sports, this is Checkered Flag, celebrating 20 years. Proudly presented by the Australian FIM Speedway Grand Prix, being staged at Melbourne's Etihad Stadium on October 24, 2015. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Good to have your company this week. Welcome everyone to Checkered Flag, and a big thanks to our present sponsor, the Australian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. And well, today it's all about the speed cars again, and the next round of the Speed Car Pro Series from Adelaide's Speedway City. Weather conditions are inclement. Warren Ferguson is with me, and Warren, Dane Kingshot, the tournament leader on 975 points.
Yeah, nice to be here, David. Dane Kingshot's absolutely streeting this field, and good to see Neville Lance up there in second place.
Dane, the defending champion, of course, was able to win an epic round that you saw on last week's program from the Quit Bunbury Speedway, defeating Mark Brown, whom he passed late in the race. There's the track facts, 430 metres, established in 1979. The name Dillon is synonymous in South Australian Speedway, due in no small way to the exploits of Luke, who has emerged as one of the nation's leading sprint car drivers. Part of Luke's success can be attributed to brother Lee, who has worked as an integral member of Luke's pit crew in recent years. Lee is, of course, no stranger to racing himself, and this season he has attained contracted driver status with the Carline Speed Car Pro Series. He says it's great to be back racing after spending almost 10 years wielding the spanners.
First I was racing myself, really. We used to run 2 cars, but then I sort of only did a few races here and there, so I sort of didn't bother anymore, and I was just really crew chief for him. Mostly just racing around South Australia, but then we did a few years on World Series as well. And yeah, I just sort of took care of his race car on the night most of the time.
Dillon says, despite a lifetime being involved in racing, he still learns something new each time he goes to the racetrack.
Well, you always learn going to different racetracks, you know, what they're like, how much they change. But as far as with the midget and the sprint car, they're not that similar. It's sort of, we have to learn again, I guess. Other than knowing what the track's going to do and all that, you sort of have to relearn what you're doing a little bit. So hopefully when we get going later in the year, we'll learn a bit more.
Heading into tonight's Speedway City round, Dillon has only raced at one of the opening 3 events on the Pro Series trail after his team was beset with engine dramas.
We only got to race at Kwinana because our motor broke there, and we didn't get to run the next couple of rounds at Bunbury and Collie. But you know, we got going all right. I've never raced, you know, a sprint car or anything on a track that big before, so it was a bit different to get going. You know, the midget's not very big, and it's a lot bigger track than I've ever raced on, so it was a lot different.
Surprisingly, the South Australian says there's no home track advantage as such racing at the Speedway City venue.
Not here. I think the only advantage here is we know that we don't know what the track's going to do, I guess. You know, it's always different here at Speedway City. But the only thing, I guess, compared with the WA cars and that, it is a little bit of a different style of racing. You know, it's a lot tighter and closer, so I think it's more over there. They've got a home track advantage on the big tracks, and over here, you know, we may have a little bit, but not a whole lot.
And what made you want to get back into the speed cars again?
Well, just my cousin was driving the car, Ben, and he had a kid and did a few different things and decided he wasn't going to drive anymore. So Stephen just said, "Do you want to drive?" So I thought, yeah, I haven't raced myself in a while. I wouldn't mind having a go. So just something different.
It's quite obvious that the sport of speedway plays a major role in the life of Lee Dillon. He says it's an addiction.
I got no idea, really. It's one of those things where when you win, you want to go back next week because you want to win again, and when you lose, you're pissed off that you lost and you want to go back again. So it's just, you're sort of stuck, I think.
Yeah, there he is, Lee Dillon. Good to see him back in the fold and earning contractor status in season 2014-15, the Carline Speed Car Pro Series. That shot of the skyline showed you a fairly stormy outlook. The Weather Bureau tonight predicting rain. Let's hope that they are wrong on this occasion. Well, quick time has been completed, and Todd Waddell, congratulations to him, 14.289, his quickest recorded lap in advance of Brett Thomas and Dane Kingshot. Let's go down to Ebony Hawkins, who's now with the quick man.
Todd Waddell, congratulations on taking out your first quick time win here at the Speedway City.
Yeah, thank you very much. The car was good and we went out early, which I didn't know would help us, but yeah, it obviously did. The track was really good.
And getting a new one-lap record at the same time, it's like a double bonus.
Yeah, it is. And, we knocked Stephen Graham off, who's a good friend of the team. So, to knock Stephen off, and his record stood for a long time. So, yeah, to now be the one-lap track record holder feels really good.
Now, going into the heat, you will be starting at the back. What's your plan of attack to get through the traffic on this one?
Just really attack it, but be cautious. You don't want to crash out or anything because we've got good points in the bank now, and we just got to get into that top 7 and then we can race for it from there.
Great start to the night. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done to Todd Waddell. Looking forward to watching his progress here tonight at Speedway City. Well, Dane Kingshot, the defending champion, doing a wonderful job in this term's series, and here he is now with Ebony in the pits.
Dane, you're running the Spike Esslinger combo. Now, that is the combo to have at the moment. How do you get there and, step it up from the other guys that also have the same combo?
I think it's just a lot to do with car setup and the way we drive it, and it's there's obviously everyone does have pretty similar gear at the moment, and it's, like I say, just the way the crew sets it up for the feature races, and it's worked out pretty well this year.
Do you think this rain's going to hold off tonight?
I'm not too sure. The radar doesn't look too good, and the way we've been going this year, it probably won't, but hopefully it does.
You'll be aiming for that three-peat. Back-to-back with Collie and Bunbury. It'll be damn nice to take it out here tonight too.
Yeah, definitely. We won here last year, and it'll be awesome to win here again. I like the track, so we're over here for a bit of a holiday as well, so it'll be nice to take the win and have a bit of a celebration tonight.
Now, the fans are getting on Facebook and Twitter. If you see the Speed Car Pro Series, they're voting for you in all the fan, selections and choices. Is that pretty nice, knowing that you've got a huge support base out there?
Yeah, definitely. We try and be nice to, we try nice guys, and we have a bit of fun, and that's why we do it. We enjoy racing, so I hope that's why the people sort of follow us a bit, and it's good to see that, definitely.
Talking about all those wins, what's it going to take to stop you?
It won't take much. Everyone's sort of the same speed, so it's going to be tough to get more wins, and that's the way it is. That's the way I like the racing here, and it'll be, like I say, it's going to be hard work with all these fast guys.
Well, best of luck for the evening. I'm sure we'll chat to you again.
Thank you very much.
Undoubtedly, Dane will emerge as one of the drivers to beat here tonight, so welcome to our coverage. Carline Speed Car Pro Series at Speedway City. One of my favourite venues, this one. Promoter Wendy Turner does a wonderful job on presentation. On the front row, it is Todd Bennett. He starts upstairs in the 17 car. Nathan Squires, then Brock Hallett, Nicholas Rowe, Mark Brown, Lee Dillon, Dane Kingshot and Todd Waddell. So very good field here. Not a massive field in terms of numbers, but plenty of quality. Mark Brown worth watching from position 6 in the purple car, outside of the third row. So who will it be? We get them underway in heat race number 1, the Carline Speed Car Pro Series. And best to begin was Todd Bennett, who got nice drive on the outside of the track. Now moving up next is Nicholas Rowe. In fact, Rowe goes to the front. Well, that's aggressive stuff. Good job.
You can see a bit of a slippery track here at the moment. A bit of moisture around. The guys are pushing the front end of the cars. Mark Brown just slips under the number 9 car there. And Brock Hallett, who started on the second row, slipped well back after some first turn issues.
Speaking of Brock Hallett, we now ride on board, and that is a fantastic onboard shot. Hallett, hard at work, the reigning Australian Formula 500 champion. We have a colour story on him later on today's program. He undertook an exhaustive campaign racing in America during our off-season. He was over there for 12 weeks. Onto the main straight, that's Brock Hallett in the white car, running third. So the leader, Nicholas Rowe, is under siege now from Todd Bennett. Bennett, reminding you rather, started up front and then was blown away by the 97 car, but he has come surging back.
Yeah, he's looking stronger in the second part of the race. The first part seemed to take a little while to get settled down. And Brock Hallett, much the same. He dropped back to 5th or 6th place, and he's made his way back up to 3rd.
The track is very racy. Obviously a bit of precipitation around. There is no shortage of grip out there. Hallett back in 3rd. This time we ride with Lee Dillon further back in the pack. He's running outside the top 5. The driver in the black car following him was Todd Waddell. So the leader now has cleared out Todd Bennett. Good performance by him. Kept a cool head. Lost ground. Made it back again. Got to the front. And is now driving away despite some understeer there midway between turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, there's definitely some moisture around. You see all the right rear tyres when they're in the corner starting to haze. That's just the precipitation in the air and the heat coming off the tyres.
Speedway.com.au replay of Todd Bennett getting up on the inside of Nicholas Rowe. Returning the favour really, because Rowe did that to him in the first lap of the race. There's the leader on screen. Good shots.
Brock Hallett's now right on the back of Nicholas Rowe. This will be an interesting battle for the last 2 laps.
Indeed, Hallett, fine young talent, running mid-track and climbing all over the back of Nicholas Rowe. They're separated by 1 car length as they run down the back straight the final time. Todd Bennett in the 17 machine off turn number 4 is not handling perfectly, but good enough to get the job done. Checkered flags fly. Very blustery, windy and overcast conditions in Adelaide. And the win going to Todd Bennett in advance of Nicholas Rowe. Brock Hallett was next. Mark Brown, good job from him to advance a couple of spots. And Nathan Squires, who did start on the front row, fading to finish in 5th.
Todd Bennett taking out the first heat win there. Now it's just rained. How do you think that's going to affect the track over the night?
Well, it's a fair bit of water on the track out there now. Hopefully they can recover it and get some racing in for the rest of the night. Yeah, we'll see. They got some cars out there now, so just hope.
With the cooler conditions like this, how long does it take for the tyres to come in?
Normally, probably 2 or 3 laps. It's starting to work now after that, so not too bad.
See how it goes. All the best for the next heat.
Cheers, thank you.
You're watching highlights of the Carline Speed Car Pro Series. Unfortunately, the heavens have opened. A lot of water has been dumped on the track, and organisers left with no alternative other than to get the graders out in an effort to repair the track so we can go racing again. Meantime, in the pits, here's Ebony.
Brett, you've got 2 cars running this season. I want to know what engine choice have you gone for?
The first car is an S-Slinger. We've got a brand new S-Slinger in for the United States. The second one is also from the States. It's an Eagle billet block, one of Joe Depp's engines. So we just thought we'd try 2 different ones, see which one we like better.
Which one are you running tonight?
While we've been here over west and over this side, we've been running the billet block, so the Eagle, pushrod engine. We just seem to like it better for some reason.
And talk to me about your racing commitments this season. You're taking on a lot. What are the big things on your to-do list?
To-do list this year, we've contracted to both series, obviously the Pro Series and the Triple S Series on the eastern side. One showed clash, so we had a substitute driver there. So our race schedule's pretty busy. We go from obviously here, Murray Bridge, Bordertown next week, then to Lismore for the Triple S, and then we've got Parramatta, then Nowra after that, and then Christmas Day we fly out to compete in the Australian team as at Western Springs for 5 races.
You're looking forward to getting over there to New Zealand?
Mate, really looking forward to New Zealand. Apparently it's a great place to race, and hopefully we come back with some knowledge.
Yeah, a lot of good Australian drivers have raced speed cars in New Zealand at Western Springs, and Thomas, well, he's absolutely beside himself to be given such an opportunity. So after a lengthy delay, the track curators have done a very good job in bringing this speedway back, and hence we now advance to heat race number 2, Wilshire, Golding, Crouch, Redmond, Hall, Lance and Brett Thomas, 7-car field. You can see where they have scraped the heavy clay down onto the pole line in an effort to get this event back underway after a heavy downpour following heat race number 1. So here we go with the Wilshire in the bright green car on the front row. Green flag conditions, and Wilshire has began well. Looking further back in the field, there's no shortage of traffic. Car number 7 is Jamie Crouch. On his outside is Ben Hall. And now up the inside is Lee Redmond, the West Australian, looking for racing room. Can he effect the pass? No shortage of hostilities out there right now, Warren Ferguson.
Yeah, narrow racetrack right now. Plenty of water down from the rain, and you saw on the start Golding had trouble, and Redmond was running through the bumps there, the greater bumps on the inside.
Here's Wilshire. What a fantastic onboard shot again. You riding with the race leader, and he's a fair way in advance of his nearest rival too. Lap 3 of 10, you were very much in the driver's seat. Car 7 is Jamie Crouch. He lies in 3rd position. Second on the circuit is Lee Redmond, doing a good job as always.
Yeah, Redmond's chasing down Wilshire, and again, Redmond's not surprising us these days. He's right up the front of these fields.
Yeah, he's got a very good combination. At 52 car, working beautifully. Track is hooked up as a result of the rain. Cars are squatting off the turns, managing to get their power to the ground.
Really difficult conditions to race in here, especially without wings on these midget cars. You know, the front end doesn't want to turn into the corner nicely. You really got to drive it on the rear wheels of the car. And you can see there Wilshire really swinging at the wheel to make sure it all happens.
See the shock absorbers working. The bottom of the picture. Have a look at that. Next time we take the onboard shot, you can see the shocks working overtime on the right side of the car. Good battle here. Neville Lance, the former national champion in 14, has joined the fray. I'll tell you what, the speed's an absolute cracker out there. It's nose to tail stuff, but because of the nature of the circuit with the moisture, they are certainly ploughing through.
Yeah, it's very much one line. There's not the ability. You see Redmond got right up on the back of Wilshire earlier, and you see Neville Lance challenging Redmond now, but they're really stuck in that one groove as we're back on board with Wilshire, and you can see the right rear shock there pounding away as it goes through the different track conditions.
Yeah, great shot as Redmond attempts a potential pass. Goes to the inside now. Lee Redmond, the West Australian. Neville Lance will try to follow suit. Redmond has taken the lead in car 52 on the last racing lap, and Neville Lance moves up a spot as well.
Yeah, unfortunate for Wilshire. He got a little bit tight with the car understeered in the corners and let the other guys slip right through.
Good stuff. Speed car racing at its brilliant best. Checkered flag in heat number 2. Terrific drive, Lee Redmond. He showed great patience there, bided his time. Wilshire left the door open. Redmond invited himself inside, and so did Neville Lance. Crouch was back in 4th. Brett Thomas came next. So a thrilling race. Another look at that for Speedway Racing News online, speedway.com.au.
Yeah, we just see there the Wilshire car letting Lee Redmond through, and again with Neville Lance there, a little bit wide on the racetrack, missed the groove. And once he got into that moist area, it just allowed the car to push forwards.
They were absolute rockets, the top 3 in that event. Lee Redmond, greeted by his dad Chuck. Here's Ebony.
Lee, congrats on taking out the second heat. Looks like they're forcing you to take the outside line with track conditions at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously with all the weather that's coming in, the track's sort of only, I suppose, a car off the bottom, right up to the top, so having to run the top pretty much.
Now, there are a few big boulders out there by the looks of it. Can you see them? Are the visibility on those good?
Yeah, they're pretty visible. Some of them are big as the car. So, yeah, we're just got to obviously stay away from the bottom and just race the track conditions, unfortunately.
It'll be tricky out there for the next heat, which they're getting you back out for pretty much straight away.
Yeah, we've been told we're going out again. So, yeah, we'll make a few changes. The car's a little bit tight, so we'll free it up a bit more and go and have another go.
Best of luck.
Thanks very much.
On Fox Sports, this is Checkered Flag, presented by the 2015 Australian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Spectacular action for the whole family. Book now with Ticketmaster.
Brock Hallett is one of the brightest young stars in Australian Speedway. The reigning Australian Formula 500 champion is also making a real name for himself in speed cars, and success going forward is assured. During the Australian off-season, Brock undertook an extensive American campaign running in several shows over a 12-week period.
We raced micro sprints, which is the same class as Formula 500s here. Was lucky enough to work out a XXX race co with Kate's Motorsport from Australia here, and we were there for about 3 months. So we've got a lot of racing in. Went to Knoxville Nationals, a few sprint car shows, as well as a NASCAR event, which was pretty cool.
Did you get in the sprint car whilst you were there?
No, we weren't fortunate enough to get in the sprint car, just the schedule didn't allow that, but I'd love to get back over there and run a sprint car or a midget.
Hallett says he was impressed by some of the tracks he competed on whilst in America.
Definitely a lot smoother. The guys really know what they're doing. They never run as many classes as what they do here, but the competition level was tough, and the tracks provide awesome racing every night, and we didn't go to a bad track at all.
Hallett believes he gained significant experience whilst racing in America that should prove beneficial during this season's Australian campaign.
Definitely, for sure. We just didn't have an off-season at all. We ran all the way probably 3 weeks before we went to America, and then the whole 3 months over there, and quick 3-week off-season, then back in the speed car. So definitely done a lot of laps already this year, and we've got plenty more to come.
How do you then juggle all your commitments, considering that you've done the US, Formula 500 champ, doing speed cars? How do you make it all happen?
Just good time management. We'll get the schedule up on the wall at home, and just pick the big ones that we want to do, and try and run as many as we can, and keep race fit, because the more time you're in the car, it doesn't matter what it is, it just provides learning and learning the tracks and really improving myself.
So the Aussie title is definitely on your to-do list this year?
Yeah, we'll finish out the Pro Series, and then we'll run a few sprint car shows, as well as getting back in the Formula and trying to defend the Aussie title up in Rockhampton.
Despite being a regular front-runner who has enjoyed national title success, Hallett and team boss Trevor Nucky are surprisingly conservative when it comes to setting goals.
Just try and finish and run up front. It's all about winning with Trevor. He doesn't like losing, and he lets me know about it when we don't win, so as he puts a lot of pressure on it, but I think I'm up to it, and hopefully we can seal the deal tonight and win a few more in the coming future.
Hallett says he's excited to race at Speedway City, and unlike Lee Dillon, he believes there is a home track advantage to be exploited.
Definitely, I have done a lot of laps around the next few tracks here in Murray Bridge. At the end of the day, the competition's very tough. There's probably 10 guys tonight that can win, and good luck to everyone, but hopefully we're the one on the top step of the podium and holding the big trophy.
Hallett says whilst he loves racing Formula 500s and speed cars, his main focus going forward will be sprint cars.
Yeah, it's every kid's dream to be in a sprint car. Ever since I was a little boy, I remember going to Archerfield with Mum and Dad, just watching sprint cars. So hopefully we can get in it more, budget depending obviously, but it's really the goal, and to be a full-time sprint car driver would be just the ultimate dream.
And who's to say that Brock Hallett won't achieve his goal? He's a fine talent. We wish him well. And Hallett certainly among the heavy hitters here tonight at Speedway City on his home track. Heat race number 3 of the Carline Speed Car Pro Series, sanctioned and controlled by Speedway Australia, the sports peak body, and we thank Speedway Australia for its support in bringing you exclusive coverage of this tournament on Checkered Flag this season. So here's the starters in the next event: Squires, Golding, Rowe, Hall, Dillon, Lance, Kingshot and Thomas. So again, we've got some good quality and a few fast boys coming through from the back.
Yeah, heavy hitters, Lance, Kingshot and Thomas all from the back there. This will be an exciting race, and I bet Golding's looking forward to a better start in this heat as well.
Yeah, no slouch Golding in car 15. Let's watch his progress. Nicholas Rowe worth watching too. He was quick in his opening heat drive in the 97 car. There he is up running third, going around on the outside of Rob Golding. Have a look at the charge of the Light Brigade down the back straight. Lee Dillon's in the thick of it in car number 9. Neville Lance, he just manages to avoid contact. No, I was wrong. He did make contact eventually with Ben Hall, but they keep going.
He certainly did make some contact. He was going through there no matter what. But we've got Squires out front. He's doing a great job ahead of Rowe. And you see Rowe just looking to the inside of Squires. This narrow racetrack is proving a bit of a handful, as we saw at Lance before.
Yeah, there's been a heavy downpour. If you may have just joined our coverage, Thomas into trouble. He's upside down. Neville Lance was also caught up in that. And Thomas, the Queenslander in the Illuminated Industries entry, joins the Upside Down Club for season 2014-15. Here it is again.
Yeah, a little unlucky there. Golding had quite a big push understeer on there, and when he come back down track, he got Thomas, and Neville Lance really had nowhere to go and tipped him over.
It was a gentle roll, if there is such a thing. The car was on 4 wheels, and almost as it came to rest, it just tipped. So underway again here. Restart in heat race number 3. And Brett Thomas is out there and still circulating in the Queensland 69 car, as is Neville Lance, who is involved. So the action continues. Lee Dillon up on the inside. And this time we go on board with the South Australian, the driver of car number 9.
We look back at Ben Hall there and see Ben Hall gets a massive push, or understeer as we call it in this sport. Flat left front tyre there. It's going to make it very hard in these conditions to turn.
Yep, he'll probably retire and head to the infield. Meanwhile, we see an aggressive Nicholas Rowe up on the inside of Nathan Squires. And as a result, a change of leader. He's been strong tonight, Nicholas Rowe. Beautifully presented car off turn number 4. The chasers are coming. Rob Golding is one of them in the 15 car. Golding is at the moment making life very difficult for Nathan Squires. And there's Lee Dillon, right-hand side of screen, the red machine.
Yeah, here's Squires around the outside. Bit of a replay here with Rowe. Shows you how Rowe was able to find the gap, push his way through on the inside. Rob Golding there in the background is hanging tough in third place. He's struggled a little bit in this heat. As we see Lee Dillon there push his way up the inside, you know, those bumps on the inside of the track due to the grader makes it very hard for these midget cars to get around. Some of those chunks of dirt out there are almost as big as the wheels.
That's fair comment. Lee Dillon, the Newlon entry on screen. This is better from him. He's had no luck at all in this series, other than bad luck, I should say. Squires, left-hand side of screen, runs in second spot. Lee Dillon now top 3 in the red 9 car. Not far to go. 1 lap as they cross the start-finish line and embark on the final 430 metres of this journey. Nicholas Rowe out in front. He's been super consistent tonight. The racetrack might be narrowed, but there's nothing wrong with the standard of racing. And Nicholas Rowe takes a comfortable win in the end. Recapping the minor placings in heat race number 3, Squires in advance of Lee Dillon, Rob Golding and Brett Thomas recovering from that early race rollover to finish 5th. So we'll head down to the pits, and here is Ebony Hawkins.
Yeah, congrats on taking out that heat. Must be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I had to work my way through. I started off 4th and I got to 2nd off the start. It was a really good start and just had to wait for Nathan to make a mistake. I just sat there and then finally got the mistake and came through and took the win. Pretty stoked.
That track out there is really fast right now.
Yeah, it is pretty fast. I was running pretty much hard down to the ground for the whole race, which usually you can't do that. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Now, there isn't long to go until the A main because they've cancelled the shootout for tonight. So it doesn't give you long in terms of making changes. Are you going to make any quick changes before the feature?
Probably not. I've only just started, so I'm still trying to learn how to drive. But we might make a change or two, not sure yet.
See what happens. Well, best of luck for the feature tonight.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, he's only a youngster, absolutely beaming. Chuck Redmond refueling the Lee Redmond machine. They hail from Western Australia. Brett Thomas rolled over in that previous heat but recovered. Here he is with Ebony.
Now, gentle rollover in that heat just now. You've got to be happy that there's no damage.
Yeah, I knew it'd be no damage because it was really light. Like I left my foot off the brake when I was rolling backwards to try to get away from when they come towards me. But yeah, when I did go, it was very light, so I knew it'd be all right.
The only damage is done is to those points.
Yeah, the points of the ego a little bit, you know. So we were going quite well with points until then. I think we got back to 5th, so I think we'll be probably 6th or 7th in the feature, so we've got a bit of work to do.
How do you go getting through the traffic? What are your tips for dealing with it?
Be aggressive. Bump them out of the way, I don't know. No, look, it's a great track now. They did a great job to get the track back. I think we had good speed out there. The car handled well, so just be patient. It's 25 laps.
Well, lucky you came out of that unscathed. Best of luck for the feature.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dillon.
Ebony Hawkins doing an excellent job in the pits as always, an integral member of the Checkered Flag team. Wilshire Bennett, Crouch, Hallett, Brown, Redmond and Waddell, they are your starters in heat race number 4. Really enjoying the spectacle tonight. Track is hooked up, they're running quickly. Typical wheel-to-wheel stuff. And a great onboard shot, Wilshire. We ride with him as we go racing in the final heat race of the night. And 10-lap journey here. Wilshire is very busy during the early stages of the race. As we look further back in the pack to see exactly what's happening here, it's Brock Hallett has moved past the 17 car of Todd Bennett. We, meantime, go back on board with the race leader, Wilshire, who's out of shape. And, well, the pictures, they say it all.
Yeah, pretty unhappy with himself there. He got caught on the grader bumps, as I'm calling them, and there wasn't too much he could do there with the race car. It just got up on there and beached itself.
Yeah, grabbing handfuls of opposite lock. Watch this. Bang. Not happy.
You can feel his disappointment, can't you, David?
He's had a good night. So, driver error. Obviously, there may have been contributing factors with the track, but in the main, if they can keep away from the bottom, the Speedway track is very raceable.
It is. As we sit here watching Mark Brown moved his way into 3rd place in this race as Brock Hallett streets away. He's looking good on his home racetrack tonight, Brock Hallett.
Yeah, as you'd expect. Hallett the leader in advance of Todd Bennett, who's under siege from Mark Brown. Next man through is Lee Redmond. Look at the speed of Redmond off turn number 2. He leaps out of the clay. He's driving with so much confidence. Onboard shot now from Mark Brown, and that's a beauty.
You've got to be very committed on the racetrack at the moment, David. You have to throttle it into the corner and make sure the car gets a proper set to make it around. Otherwise, you get the push like we saw Bennett get before, and it can be detrimental to how you finish the race.
Brock Hallett, the tearaway in this race. He leads by 10 car lengths in advance of Mark Brown. Of course, Brown, the subject of a feature story on a recent episode of Checkered Flag. Wonderful driver. Has won everything there is to win in this sport except the Australian title, and that would really annoy him.
Yeah, I think he's been unlucky on a few occasions there, and we all know Brownie, or Brown Dog as he's affectionately known, wants that number 1 really bad.
Does he ever? Brock Hallett, we ride on board with lap 7 of 10. Race leader doing it comfortably, very smooth, and in complete control. You can see the eyes through the visor, the study of concentration. Mark Brown in the 9 car runs in 2nd. I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough with just a couple of laps remaining to do anything about the leader.
Here's fast timer Todd Waddell just making a quick move up the inside on Lee Redmond there. Nice to see a bit of passing going on the narrow racetrack.
They pass the George Tatnall stand and head down the back straightaway at Speedway City. Nice shot of the race leader, Brock Hallett, off turn number 4 and across the start-finish line again. Last lap of the Speedway City venue. Hallett started a few spots back on the grid, got to the front early. No chance they're going to run him down here. And Brock Hallett in car number 11 wins heat number 4 in sensational fashion. Brown 2nd. He too started deep in the pack, so good drive by the Sydney sider. Then the quick time man tonight, Waddell, up to 3rd. Ousting Lee Redmond from that spot, which is no mean feat. And Todd Bennett officially placed in 5th as we head down to the pits. Here's Ebony Hawkins.
Heat 4 winner, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. Car was pretty good considering the track conditions, so hopefully we can get it right for the final and really put on a good show and race our way to the front.
How is the track? Is it abrasive on tyres at all?
No, it's looking after the tyres pretty good, but 25 laps for the final tonight. We'll have to make a good decision on the tyre compound. Hopefully we can get away with a nice soft one and be fast early on and pull the lead and race our way home, but it's 25 laps, it's a long way, so anything can happen.
With your tyre choice, you're running Hoosiers all round?
Yeah, Hoosiers all around, so Trev's a Hoosier man, he loves them. We'll have some new ones on the back, but we'll just have to wait and see which compound we choose.
And finally, because there is a quick turnaround now to the feature, what feedback have you given your team in terms of making final changes?
We're changing a few things on the car. We're going to put another gear set in, maybe move the wheels around as well as put some new tyres on. So at the end of the day, it's 25 long laps and we're just going to be there at the end to try and win it.
Confident?
Hopefully, yeah, we'll be all right.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, things are going well for Brock and his team tonight. Bit of drama in the Bennett Motorsport pit area. We just saw Mark Brown finish runner-up in that previous heat, but there are a few dramas with the purple race car and a tap-out sponsored machine, the new energy drink. And Todd Waddell runs the other car. Here's Ebony.
Todd, your teammate Mark Brown behind us is working frantically on the car. Can you tell us what's going on?
They got a brake. He had a brake caliper fail, so yeah, the boys are taking it off and they're just fitting a new one, and he should be right to go for the feature.
That's good to hear. Now, being teammates, what sort of advice has he given you? Because he has got a cabinet full of trophies. He's very, very successful, as you know.
Yeah, he's very handy to have. If we're not in the same race, he usually gives me, tells me how the track's going and where he thinks that I should drive, and we also share a bit of notes on setups. Our cars are different, but yeah, there's some things that we can do with stagger and stuff that are pretty much the same. So yeah, he's definitely a handy guy to have.
Speaking of hands-on, how much work do you do on your own car?
Yeah, I built this car, which was good. It's the first car I've really built from the ground up myself. So yeah, pretty proud of it. And when I first drove it, I was nervous that it wasn't going to start and all that sort of stuff because I'd done so much work. And then during the week, I do all the engine maintenance and grease the bars and yeah, do a lot of it. So my guys, they help me out, but yeah, I do a lot of it myself.
A little bit of stress down there for the Bennett Motorsport team. There's Mark Brown and his crew trying to effect repairs to the purple car. The Super 7's pole shuffle has been abandoned tonight because of the imminent threat of further rain. As a result, organisers have reverted to progressive point score this evening to determine pole position, etc. Here's Ebony with more.
Lee Redmond, looks like you are the man who may stop Dane Kingshot from his three-peat tonight.
Oh, look, Dane's been going fantastically. Obviously, I haven't been doing the last couple of rounds, but looking forward to racing him. He's a fantastic guy and a very good race car driver, and but saying all that, I want to beat him.
Well, pole position is a great way to start.
Yeah, we've had a really good night. Car's been dialed in. We had a flat tyre actually in that one, which didn't help, but yeah, we still managed to get top points, so starting on front's going to help, and we'll just try and be consistent and be there at the end.
Now, obviously had a weekend off. You got married, so congratulations. Very, very exciting. And now getting back into the points chase.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a nice break last weekend, and yeah, so it's the best day of your life. And yeah, just looking forward to getting in and trying to get as many points back as I can on Dane and then the rest of the guys. Like dropping 2 rounds doesn't help, that's for sure. So I'll be out there giving it 110%, that's for sure.
25 laps, all the best.
Thank you very much.
Fox Sports, this is Chequered Flag, presented by the 2015 Australian FIM Speedway Grand Prix. See the best riders in the world. Book now at Ticketmaster. Introducing a Chequered Flag golden moment.
Wanless in front. Stephen Graham runs second.
Graham also had to do his work. He started from position number 11, but he's worked his way through too. But Wanless has been the man. He got through quick down the back straight away. Last week's winner, Marr. He also starts to come on now late in the race. He puts the move on far. Far's just hanging on for third at the moment, using the top, bottom, and everything else he can find on the racetrack.
I think he's struggling to hang on, Dennis. It's been a heck of a drive by him, and equally good by our race leader, Todd Wanless. There's Troy Little. Barry Smith Isuzu Trucks entry. He's been consistent all night. Reminding you, World of Outlaws sprint car racing to be conducted at this venue in January 2004. History as the Outlaws come down under for the first time ever. Not far to go in the Goffin Gilmore Sprint Car Sweepstakes on Chequered Flag, supported by Rod Bowen Prestige Smash Repairs, Split Fire Performance Products, and Pickett Bayless Self-Serve Auto Parts.
Wallace now just getting through the lap traffic, but here comes Stephen Graham. He's definitely pulled in Wallace over these last few laps. There's only one left to run now. Graham's going to have a big go in the bright blue number 40 down the back straightaway for the last time. Has he got anything for Wallace as they come onto the main straightaway? He goes high, Wallace goes low, but Wallace is going to hang on. Graham switches back to the inside. Just couldn't do it. Good drive there from Wallace, will take the win.
Yeah, there it is. Another golden moments from the Checkered Flag Vault as we celebrate 20 years this season. We continue each week to look back on highlights of past shows, and Todd Wanless the winner there at Parramatta City Raceway in the Sprint Car Sweepstakes. Now time to turn our attention to the Carline Speed Car Pro Series again. It's main event time with Lee Redman. Well, he was given the opportunity of starting up front by virtue of being the top point scorer tonight. Brown on his inside. You can see it's a 14-car field. Really looking forward to this one. Organisers, Warren, have endured a tough night due to rain and having to regrade the track. And there is rain on the way according to the radar.
These are the nights you never want to be a promoter. The rain's around, you don't know what's going to happen, you've got to get the grader out, you know, and you've got to keep all the drivers pacified as well, I might say, because they'll all be struggling with what the racetrack is and how they're going to handle it throughout this race.
The biggest challenge is keeping the spectators pacified when they've got water coming down. You can see the grader, if you may have just joined our coverage, was out on the track earlier after heat race number 1. There was a big downpour and a lengthy delay as the track curator attempted to bring the track back into shape, and they scraped the loose clay down onto the pole line. Racing's been fine. Here we go, Redman and Brown. Redman slowed appreciably as the green light was about to be switched on. Mark Brown went to the front. Let's watch how this pans out as they head down the back straight the first time. That is Dane Kingshot in the 25 car. He runs about mid-pack, going for his 3rd consecutive victory tonight. It'll be tough.
Yeah, Dane Kingshot battling hard there. And I think Redman was doing a little bit of foxing there with Mark Brown and unfortunately come off second hand.
Did he ever? Second best, Hallett on screen. Study of concentration. No shortage of traffic around him. Only early days, lap 3 of 25. It's a wonderful onboard shot. Brett Thomas is lurking behind the race car we were just taking the onboard vision from. There's Neville Lance in car 14. Mark Brown is the leader. Todd Waddell is second. Then Neville Lance, followed by Lee Redmond. And a look further back at the current series leader and defending champion Dane Kingshot, who's under siege.
Yeah, I think Lee Redmond's finding they're going a little bit tough at the moment, but let's hope Mark Brown's car holds together. Remember, they changed that brake caliper and had to hastily put this thing back together to get him up out front.
There's Brown. We just saw him discard a tear-off, vital part of speedway racing equipment. For an event like this or a race like this, they probably have 25 to 30 tear-offs on.
Yeah, you'd have about 25 on, and you know, every lap you'll be pulling one off in these sort of conditions. But you see Waddell there doing a great job in second place, battling with Neville Lance, and that puts the 2 tap-out cars up front, running 1-2.
Indeed, so good result. Neville Lance is working back to his best form. He's been pretty good last couple of rounds. Of course, won the Australian Championship a couple of seasons ago in Western Australia on his home track. Now we're on board with Lee Dillon. Lee running just outside the top 4. Brett Thomas is immediately behind him. No change in the order. Mark Brown in advance of Todd Waddell, followed by Neville Lance.
Waddell's doing a great job. He was fast timer tonight, and he's got himself up there in second, and no doubt he'll be very keen to get up there to Mark Brown and give him a bit of a run for his money.
Warren, we've got a genuine cushion starting to develop, and we've got a massive problem with the 71 car upside down Ben Hall. He started at the back of the pack, and you can see him moving around in the car. He has come to grief on the back straight. The speedway.com.au replay. We didn't quite see how it began.
I think looking at that there, I think it's sucked the left rear wheel off, whether they've had a wheel nut issue or a broken wheel centre. Fortunately, it looks like he's all okay.
Yes, he is okay, Warren, but he may need a Panadol. A few aches and pains coming out of that. Todd Bennett also involved in the accident. Here he is with Ebony on the infield.
Todd, that's an unfortunate end to your night. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I just come into 3 and 4 here, and Ben Hall was spun out in front of me and on his lid, so I had nowhere to go and just got caught up in it. So Okay.
Unfortunate to end your night this way, but we'll see you back here again soon.
Yeah, we'll go and repair for Watertown, and we'll be there. It's Friday night, so cool.
Okay, so bad luck. And now single file formation. The restart is imminent with Mark Brown standing on the gas. Green light conditions again at Speedway City. And Lee Redmond goes to the infield. Lee Dillon has spun. You can see there adequately captured on our fence cam. And now the wide shot, and there's no driving out of that slushy mess. Lee Redmond. Another look for speedway.com.au.
Yeah, a little bit of a bank up here on the inside. Lee Redmond looked like he didn't get going again, and the other cars get into the back and basically shuffles him out of the way.
Yeah, he got some help there. He was turned around. And now from an onboard perspective, bang. Brett Thomas, that was Lee Dillon we were riding with for that replay. Redmond was already in the slush. So we come back for another race restart. I have a feeling it may not be the last one. Conditions a little tricky, and there is a massive storm front also on the way, according to the Bureau of Meteorology, whom our team have been in touch with. So Brown in advance of Todd Waddell. Here's Neville Lance. Neville very aggressive tonight. He's enjoying conditions at Speedway City. And Brock Hallett comes through next in car number 11, followed by Brett Thomas. Good stuff.
Yeah, Brock Hallett certainly knows his way around this place, but I bet it's been a little while since he's seen it this juiced up, with the racetrack with so much water in it.
So Brown, couple of car lengths in advance of his teammate. Waddell got good drive out of turn number 2. He came up behind the back of Brown with a rush. Then Brown got going again. Oh, upside down is Dane Kingshot. The Bunbury Subaru entry up and over. Dane is okay. That was a big one.
Yeah, it looks like Dane's done a fair bit of damage to the car here tonight.
Now we'll find out more. He's out of the car and with Ebony.
Dane, that's your night ended early. Tell me what happened to your car.
Oh, I just screwed up there and come in a bit hot, and these things happen, I guess. So that's the sums up our night.
Unfortunately, makes an end of that winning streak that you had, but you're still sitting pretty good on points.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the points will look now. I'm just disappointed. We come a long way to have a pretty bad night, and that's a bit disappointing. So roll on next week.
2 rounds coming up to make up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can get a win there.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Yes, Ebony keeping us abreast of, all the news and the frustration in many cases on the infield. So another heavy hitter is out of this race. Mark Brown will be grinning. So far, so good for him. A win is overdue for the driver of car number 9. Todd Waddell is still second. Neville Lance is third. The battle up front is an absolute screamer. We saw Brock Hallett move up on the inside there of Neville Lance, and Lance will try to return the favour, Warren.
Yeah, Hallett made a great move there. Lance was jockeying around, and you also saw Thomas there just in with them both as we go on board with Mark Brown. But you can see the gap Brown's got over Waddell. He's doing a great job out front.
Good onboard shot, Mark Brown. Warren, you've driven speed cars fairly extensively at one stage during your career. The late, great George Tatnall used to tell me often that they are a very challenging car to drive and you've got to have a fair bit of finesse. How would you sum it up, particularly on a track like tonight?
A track like tonight, you've got to have big you-know-whats. These ruts...
Spark plugs.
Spark plugs. Oh, Mark Brown, more trouble. Oh, I don't know what this guy's got to do to get a race together.
No, very bad luck. And we go orange because Mark Brown has stopped in the purple tap-out car. Also going to the infield is the driver of car 15, Rob Golding. Here's Brown. Well, gee, he's had no luck at all.
He's got to be disappointed. They've put a lot of effort to get this car out there, and he's been the class of the field up front as well.
As our highlights of this race continues, the heavens have again opened at Speedway City. Very heavy rain, and we've lost another one. Brock Hallett up and over, and that might just about stop this race, you'd think.
Yeah, I think so. I think Brock Hallett there's a victim of the wet track. You saw Neville Lance sliding up with really nowhere to go. We'll see it again here. Neville Lance just skates across the racetrack and finds Brock Hallett. That's a real shame. They both had good runs going.
Yeah, that's purely a legacy of the conditions. Here's Ebony.
Brock, really disappointing end to your night. You were doing so well and up in second place just now. What happened then with Neville Lance?
Neville just got under me, and then the yellows came on and he just got off the gas and we just had nowhere to go. So rode his right rear and ended up in the fence, but car was fast. Can't thank Trevor Nucky Racing again, and we'll be back next week.
Positive attitude there by Brock Hallett. Well, the race has been declared. Have a look at that. Conditions couldn't be worse, really. Squally, cold, rainy, and it is not safe for the drivers to even attempt to continue. As a result, the main event has been declared after 13 laps, with Todd Waddell awarded the win in advance of Neville Lance and Brock Hallett. So they were the positions prior to the last stoppage. And we'll catch up with the top three in a moment. There's Todd Waddell climbing out of the car. Good night for him. It all started at about 5 o'clock with quick time and got better from there.
Yeah, you got to feel pretty happy for him, to quick time, win the feature. The tap-out team must be really, really pleased with that result.
Well, they deserve it, because as we know, they've been beset by bad luck, particularly with the purple car of Mark Brown. And Todd Waddell takes a bow. Brad Henderson hands him the checkered flag. Let's have a look now at the race recap for the Australian FIM Speedway Grand Prix, Etihad Stadium, October 24, 2015. Presenting sponsor of Chequered Flag. It was helter-skelter early on, but the story of the race was, of course, the attrition. And the first driver to be dusted, busted and disgusted was Ben Hall.
He certainly was. That loss of left rear. We see Redmond there get spun out on the restart along with Lee Dillon. And that's just a consequence of the field concertinaing.
Yeah, and there were more dramas to come. We look at Brett Thomas there in full flight. Dane Kingshot, the current series leader, put himself into the air, managed to emerge unscathed. He'll fight another day. And then, of course, late in the race, we saw that incident involving Neville Lance and Brock Hallett. Here's Ebony with the top three tonight.
Todd Waddell, you were stoked with a quick time, and now did you think you would take out the feature win in what has been a very eventful night?
Yeah, it was good. We started good, obviously, with quick time, and then started up the front of the feature race, and yeah, anything can happen. Brownie, my teammate, had a problem. We were there to capitalise. If the race ran another lap anyway, we would have taken the win. So, yeah, it's just great. I wanted to win one of these so bad, and yeah, to get one of them trophies and Pro Series winner, it sounds pretty good.
You've been fast all night, so it is well deserved. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. Can I just say hi to Brittany and Kobe at home? Unfortunately, I couldn't come tonight, so yeah.
Brock, I spoke to you only moments ago when you were crashed out on the other side of the field, and they've called it from the last lap, so podium spot, well done.
Yeah, thank you. I guess the rain's actually helped us out this time. If it wasn't for that, we'd be have a wrecked car and a terrible result. But to get second tonight's really good here at our home track, and the next two tracks we run well at as well and done a lot of laps around, so we look forward to being up in contention at those places.
Neville Lance, what an eventful night. Must be nice to be back up in the winner's circle.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously I wasn't really happy with the race being cut short, but with the rain, 15 laps is all we got. So, but yeah, to finish third, a little bit unlucky. I think those long reds, the tyre bleeders let the tyres down and we're a bit bounced at the start. So I think to finish third, I guess we're happy, but not 100% happy.
Yeah, I thought Neville Lance was back to his best tonight. Let's have a look at the progress point score. Kingshot still on top, but the gap narrows slightly between he and Todd Waddell. Neville Lance not far away at all. Then Brett Thomas, who's slowly but surely moving up the ranks. Next week we go racing with the Speed Car Super Series, the event conducted at Archerfield Speedway, and the field including reigning Australian champion Adam Clark. We look forward to your company on Checkered Flag for that next week, right here on Fox Sports 5, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Thanks for working with us, Warren. We'll catch you next week.
No problem. See you then.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you soon on Checkered Flag.